welcome to join my channel. Today let's have a first look at Remix. Remix is another JavaScript framework to build a React server-side render web application. If we go to Remix website, Remix says we are focused on web standards and the modern web app user experience to build better websites. So if we go into the documentation, here in Remix, it suggests you to finish one of these instructions to get understand the framework. So let's walk through this quick start. And I'm going to bring my terminal. They have some environment requirements. So in here listed, I'm going to use VS Code. And we are going to copy this command and run it in my terminal. So what this says, basically going to use create remix template. It is use one of the template. In this case, we use the indie stack, and we put it under the folder called blog tutorial. Once we enter, I have init the project successfully. Since we init the projects by using the template called indie stack, so it actually provides a lot for us. For running it in local, if we open the package.json file, they have the script called dev can run it in locally. So let's just run it. It will run in the local host 3000. And this is a Remix indie stack template. So along with it, it already built a few things for us. First, they have two existing nodes over there. One is for the sign up, for this node called join, and another one is called the login nodes, already built it. And it also already ready deployed to Fly.io, and it has a SQLite, Prisma, Tailwind separates also set up along with it. We are going to build our own node. Each node is related to a page. So before I'm going to build the node, I'm going to have a link to our nodes. And our nodes we are called posts. And the link, since I'm going to put it in the index page, this is the index page, so we need to go into the app folder under the nodes, under the index.tsx file. This is join index. And then in here, this in here we put our link over there. So if I put the link over there, so basically you could see the link already in here. The link is pointed to the nodes called posts, and it under our index page. We haven't built the node yet. Now we have the link. Let's build our first node. So the node we're going to name it posts. And inside the post, we have our index.tsx file. Since it's a TypeScript, so it need named as tsx file. And we simply just print the posts. Now if you click over there, you could see then the h1 tag posts just printed over there. Let's just display some data over there. We replace the index with this code. So basically the down part is for your render. On top, we have input the JSON and the use load data. Each page has the load existent. The load, it is a synchronous call. And in this case, we just hardcoded 2 posts over there. And you could see in the terminal, this use load data actually make the call, it is a server-side call. So it actually logs the data in the terminal instead in the browser console. And now we can print these 2 links into the browser. So we can remove this console log and print the link in here. And here we need to input the link. When we refresh the page, we could see 2 links exist in here. And in here you already see TypeScript doesn't happy. Let's fix the type issue. First we need to define a type for our post. And this load, it is list of post. So let's define this return type. This return type, it is load data. In the load data, we have an array of posts. So here it is the load data. And in here, since this return is a load of data, so we can convert this post is load of data. Now you could see TypeScript error is gone. So still working as expected if you refresh the page. But at the moment we still hardcode everything in here. So we like bring it to the server side. So basically we go into, for each load, this is the client side, and the server side actually see the inside the module. So each load have a relative the server. In here we're going to create another server called post.server.ts. In the post.server.ts, the first function we're going to create, it is get posts. So this is a return list of promise array of posts. Then we're going to reflect this code. Instead of hardcode in here, we're going to call the function we just created. Now the post it is in our server side, so we don't need this one. And this tilde sign means going to the app. So under the so you don't need to use dot. So the tilde it means this is app. Then under the app is module and post.server. And now the interface for this one is changed since this is a synchronous function returned a promise. So the posts will be awaited the return type of get posts. Now we don't going to put array over there. Now we're going to call our function. It is still working exactly the same. Like I said, in this Indie stack, they already set up a SQLite database for us. However, we just continue move this data into our SQL database. And since this already set up with the Prisma, so first we need to create a schema for the post. So let's open the Prisma and create a schema. We don't need to create a schema, the schema already created, so they already have some model existing. Now we need to create another model over there called post. We're going to, from when we listed, we're going to have 3 fields and flag, title, markdown. And this another 2 extra field the database will create as This by default it is null, and the update time just the update time. Since we have a data schema changed, we actually need a run and the npx Prisma data push to update our local database, and this one also will do type definition to match this schema. And since we build the schema, also we're going to instead in here hard-coded value, we're going to seed some data, seed these two record into our database. So they provide a seed method for the user. Also for the load, they already have a data seeder in front of them. So after them, going to seed the posts. Let's just put this notation to here. Now, since we updated this seeder method, let's just also do database migration. Just run this seed method. This is going to seed the data into our SQLite database. And we also going to run the migration scripts. So this one we are next time you going to run or redeploy, so the migration scripts will be existing in here. We're going to say yes. And we're going to name this migration script called create post module. And so the new schema has been generated. We also can use npx Prisma Studio to see if the data is all seated over there. If you go into see this running in 5555, and you could see we already see the two data, and the unknown they already have some other data need to see the already right into the seed method is called post and the load. If you connect the post, this is two records we just see over there. Now in here we're going to change the post server, since we already have this in our database. So we're going to load this one from our database. We're going to use the Prisma to load the database, and the Prisma will do type definition for us. When you run the migration, they already have the post schema. We don't need to manually type it. So if we're going to input the Prisma in here, so this one it is when we run the init, they already set it up for us, and we have the Prisma it under the db.server. It is in here under the app. If you see, it is in the db.server. So it connected to the database we just opened and see. Now for this case, we actually don't need our hard-coded type. Basically it is the type what the Prisma return. Now if you refresh, fundamentally undefined. Prisma fundamentally undefined. Okay, since we actually did a database migration, we actually need to rerun the migration before to run it. we did a database change, we actually need to rerun this one. Now if refresh, you see it actually loaded from the database. But in here we have some TypeScript issue. In this one actually is no. Then we converted load the data unknown. Then converted to load the data. So now we have everything is. First, the load is set up called post, and we'll get the list of posts from our database. Now it's time to build this dynamic load. So this dynamic load is actually each one is used as Slack. So we go in Remix for dynamic load, you actually use the $sign. Then this is your parameter name. Then it is TSX. Inside this dynamic load, we first just print one text. So no matter you click the which one, it always just shows some text. Now we haven't loaded the parameter yet. Actually, now just change this display the Slack over there. So what we need to do, we just replace this code with this. So still we're going to use the JSON, also use the load data. You probably already get familiar. We use the in the index post file. Now if we're going to see in here, you can see this is the parameter printed in here. At the moment, the TypeScript it is unhappy yet, since we haven't had the type check put over there. For make this one happy, we need to input first for the load function. We need to input a type of load function from remix/load. So this one, it is a type of load. It's a load function. Also for the now it is happy now. And let's look at the model. In here we go into once we go into load this one, sorry, in the slug. So for each slug, we go into has it return the slug of a parameter. At the moment we only return this one. We actually expect to get a post by Slack. So let's change this one. We expect to have another function. Get a post by Slack. This close this one, close this one. And this is close this one. This is the string. We're going to return type of a post. The type of a post, when we run the migration, it already generated for us. It is in here, in the Prisma client. We're going to export it out. In the dynamic load, we're going to need it. We expect that this is have an input Slack is a string. We accept the string. string. Okay. Now we're going to let the Slack method to use it. Dynamic load to use it. We're going to say input in here. Then each load we are going to load the post, and instead of return the Slack, at the moment we're going to return the post. And in here we're going to print the post. Title. TypeScript is still not happy, but here post. Let's refresh, and when you click, you see this is my first post. Let's click, this is the second post title. And at the moment the TypeScript is not happy. Let's just fix it. We need something called evaluation to validate this one is mass percent for the parameter Slack we actually is required. If it is not existing, we're going to put in here. If we actually not found, we can put something out. And if we also for this return tab, we're going to define a tab. We're going to input the tab from where in our model it is defined, and then the type of data overload, it is one post. Then in here you could say load data, and in here we convert as load data. Now the TypeScript is fixed. Now we're going to not only display the title, also display the mark. We need to stop in here. We actually has to install a package to be able to display the markdown to the browser. So it's called marked, the library. And we also need to add the TypeScript tab for the marked as a dev dependency. Now in here for the marked, we're going to input in here. Still on the Slack we're going to display, so we actually still put in here. And the post actually contain the markdown we give it to the HTML, give it to here. Instead of return the post, also return the HTML. So in here we also have HTML. In here the HTML, we also need a part in here, HTML, part of our definition, type definition, and this is a string. Now we're going to display it to the browser. Now if we up it, refresh it, not just printed the post, it also printed the markdown. Here, not happy. Even it already. option. Okay, now in TypeScript is fixed state. Now we're going to build a nested load. So basically we're going to build a load under admin and then going to new. So we all, before going to build the load, we first also has the link. The link it is in here. I'm going to put a new link just under this. So it's going to link to the admin. We don't have the admin node yet, so we need to create it. So under the post, this admin is under the post, so I'm going to create the admin. And then let's just copy some code over there. Under the admin, most of the code you already see they are in the index in here. So like we get the post, then we display existing post, then we have and we use this one as a template, and the creator action that's inside here. Now we just in the admin we have the admin photo. Sorry, so in the admin post has admin photo. Inside the admin folder have index.tsx. Now this one we are render the admin node. When you go into /admin, it just create a post, but this only have the templates ... haven't printed this one yet because we haven't go to /new. But unlike the new, I inherit this kind of thing. So basically, we need in the admin layout to put the outlet in here. This is nothing really related to Remix. This action is React Load 6. The person created Remix is created the React Load DOM. So you could see when you in the admin, they have a list load over there. The index you put inside the index. This one we are existing into the layout. So this admin is the layout of admin, and inside this one we are printed into here. Now just let's create our new. So once we click here, link it going to /new /post/admin/new. So the new it is listed photo. You see under the post in here we're going to create the new. Then we just say new post. If you click new post, you see the new post just painted in here. Now let's since it is a new post, so we're going to collect the data. We need 3 fields. Let's update this new post with this code. So now you could see the action has 3 fields, one for the title, Slack, and the markdown. And this is nothing special. This is just a plain JavaScript, but instead just and plain JavaScript, we also input the form, not JavaScript, HTML, and we put 3 input field under the remix form. In the remix form, we're going to accept this created data and post into our database. So we're also going to update the post that the server has the create post method exist. So we accept the post, then we're going to create it. In the new, we're going to use this create method. So we're going to input in here, and we're going to create the action to listen to the post. So basically, if you're going to submit, then this method will listen, and we are going to this and the request and get this phone data. Then we get 1, 2, 3 fields, and we're going to create. Once we created, instead of stay in the new, we send it back to the admin. So we also need the redirect. We can just let this input. So it input for us. Okay, this is not. I don't need the create input method. Actually, need the input from input from here. Remix node. Now we need to do a tab. You see they all on red. So here has a tab issue. First, instead of direct, just input. We need to do 2 steps. This is the first change. Second change, for this post, we actually expect cannot the whole field, because this post has, if you hover, you see they have a 5 field, but we only provide 3 fields. So it actually we just say pick from post, only pick either is select, title, or markdown. Now this one is okay. Now we need to fix this tab issue. And for the function, this one, it is a asynchronous function, so we can get the tab. Also from remix run/load, and then let they know this function is a type of async function, action function. Sorry. These 3 things still not happy yet, but we in this one on 3 field we actually required, so we need to validate it. For validate, we can use this one. Let's put the JSON, and then before you make this call, we make sure. And we also do action. This action take some data, and what kind of data we need it, let's define it. So I need a title, select, or markdown, or either is undefined. And now we're going to validate it. So before going to create it, we first check this 3 key existing or not, or has error or not. If it has error, we just print in to the error to the user. So how we display the error to the user, we can use action data. And if we has error and this action data will contain the error, so in this one, before you're going to return, we can call this hook method has error. So the error is an object. We just check if this object has dot title presented. If it has, then the error message is supposed to display in here. Also for the post flag, and another one is for the markdown. The last one for the markdown. So the error message, if it has, it appear in here with the red text. Still for this check, we can use the previous we are in the index, post index page, use the variation to check if this title, flag, and markdown is then we're going to input the invariant, and we add this 3 check. Before going to call, we also make sure this flag is a string type is correct. Now let's try it. So if I'm going to here, just click created. So validation is happened. The title is required. So if I tap, so my try post something flag markdown anything. I'll just copy something in here. If I click created again, it succeed. You see, my try posted just over there. And in here, how about we, and also, and later, normally we're going to make API, they have a slightly delay. And in this case, it's quite quickly. So we're going to use set promise, and that is delay seconds. So if it is in progress, we just show some transition. Then in the admin view, before going to direct call, so the pass all of the validation and trying to create it. Let it delay 1 second. Then action in remix, and the action call it will be known it is in transition or not. So we actually have another hook method. It's called the use transition. And in the transition, we know it is in created. We define in here, we're going to use this transition. This transition, we actually equal to call transition. In our case, we trying to do is submission. So if it is in the creator, what we going to, we can disable all of the field. In this case, how about we just disable the button. And display something else, like in progress or creating. Replace this one with something. Okay, if I'm in creating with creating, otherwise just show default. Now let's refresh it. Now we try another time. We're going to see these transitions. Another post, and put anything. I think I'm not sure this is accepted. Let's just put anything. This is markdown, maybe that's okay. just no JavaScript is fine. So once we going to click created, it passes the validation and set and timing out 1 second. So if I click created, say you created, then it is created. Also you see my another post. And if we go back to our post, you see they have a dynamic post. This is another one, this is my first one, and this is the admin, and this is the list load for created. Yeah, that is all I'm going to cover today for this demo. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Bye.